Hello, neurohacking tribe. This is Mandy Jacob coming to you from Build the Brain. And I had gone live on social media to say that these next 60 days, we're going to be doing biohacking, particularly brain hacking for children. I wanted us to realize that through lots of trial and error, my photographic memory course needs a springboard. What I mean by that is it needs a pure brain to help maximize photographic memory potential. And so you can think of these 60 days as a prequel to my photographic memory course. Now, I don't just offer the photographic memory course, I also offer speed reading and quantum math. And those are all available online at buildyourbrain.org. But going through the actual process, I have been teaching it in a classroom setting, and now I'm opening up my own school in September, which is really exciting. But what I have been noticing is that I can give you the most efficient ways to hack your brain. But if your brain is not clear and your brain is fighting neurotoxins and needs to detox, my course is not going to be as effective. And so that is why I thought it would be a brilliant idea for us to go through these daily regimes and find the best way to motivate you and get your child and you, if you decide to do this, on the right track for pure photographic memory downloads and brain hacks. So I hope that makes sense. I should have come across this way earlier than now, because honestly, I have been realizing that there are some issues with the children, and we're going to go into some really easy hacks, and then we're going to go into more detail. So the overview will be just brain health for children. We're going to talk about the neurogenesis, the neuroplasticity, the neuroimmunity, and then we're going to talk about how we can harness this for the best cognitive development for you and your child. So I'm not only going to be dealing with the brain. I'm sure you've heard about the three brains that we have: our brain, which is our mind, our gut brain, and our heart brain. We're going to be talking about that, and we have to, no course would be complete without the external environment. So we're going to hack all three of those: biohacking, brain hacking, gut hacking, and heart brain hacking. We're going to see how we can form a coherent bond between all three of these. As you know, they are all related through the vagus nerve. And here's an interesting fact. Our brain has 86 billion neurons. Our heart has 44,000 neurons, and our gut has 1 million neurons. These three organs are constantly communicating with each other via the vagus nerve. However, the interesting thing is that 80% of the communication that is happening between the gut and the brain, and between the heart and the brain, is upwards. In other words, the brain is getting more communication from those two brains rather than the other way around. And so that is what is important for us to understand, and that is what we're going to hack. So they're going to be easy health remedies, most of them, and we are going to be discussing exercise and things like that that will help the neurotoxins. Okay, that was a mouthful, but I think you understand now that it is important for us to do this as the prequel to the photographic memory course or the speed reading course or the quantum math course. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the different neuroscience terms. I'm saying that with a huge smile on my face because I know that this can trigger some people. So we are going to do it as simply as possible. I am not a neuroscientist myself. I just love to do experiments and have noticed what works and what doesn't work with my students. And through 2 decades of doing this, have fine-tuned it to the best potential for both you and your child. now that I said you and your child, there is another thing that we need to discuss, and that is many people are coming to me and saying, I need the photographic memory course for myself. This course is specifically geared to your child. However, I am a homeschooler, so I am going to teach the adult to teach the child, because nobody knows better about how that child functions than their parents. The beautiful thing about this is that a definite byproduct of the photographic memory course and speed reading course is that you yourself, as the teacher, will develop that too. However, the disclaimer here is that if you followed any of my videos or books, you will know that the exponential growth rate in anyone's lifetime is from 0 to 7 years old. And that by the age of 3, 80% of the brain has formed. By the age of 5, 90% of the brain has formed. So the exponential growth rate that is happening there is what we're going to harness. That is why I can get such fantastic results for your child, because of the neural pathways that can potentially be set. However, that is a long explanation for my disclaimer to say that you will not be learning as quickly as your child. I don't want that to be a nail in the coffin, because I'm a prime example of having taught 3 children, and as a result have reaped the benefits of the program in terms of photographic memory, speed reading, and my quantum math is fantastic. So we can do some challenges in that just for you guys to test me out. I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but I did want to give you that disclaimer. So the fun thing is that your child is going to be a better performer than you are. And if that's the worst that happens, so be it. Okay, so brain development. In this course, we're going to look at the health of the brain for the child. And I don't want to dive into the actual reasons and sources and ways to eradicate the neurotoxins, but I do want to talk about the child's brain growth and how important that is. And once we eliminate the neurotoxins, how easy it will be for them now to latch onto this information. So we've spoken about the neural connections that can happen. And the reason why I'm doing this course is because when the child has different brain development milestones, there are a plethora of neurons that can fire and wire together. And this is where we will walk you through what age that is and give you the behavioral aspects to entertain so that you know when the growth rate is coming. And the most important thing is that you harness the information dumps so that the neural pathways can fire and wire together, and you can minimize the amount of neural pruning. I hope that isn't too much information, because I said that these neuroscience words will trigger some people. But by the end of this course, all this is going to make sense. So really, the importance of the brain health cannot be underestimated, because if that is not clear, there is no ways that we are going to be able to reap the rewards of a fantastic photographic memory course that I have created. So I hope that's straightforward enough. What the next subject that I'm going to deal with is the overview of the 3 brains. And then we will just jump straight into the neurogenesis and the new brain cells. Other than that, I wanted just to say that I am so proud of you for coming to the forefront for you and your child. This is definitely a road less traveled. However, the more we get out there, the more people see the fruit of our children and what they can accomplish, the more popular this course will get. So as always, you can reach me via any social media on Build Your Brain, or else I have a YouTube channel as well. And then the final thing is I have a private Facebook group. Just read below for the link. And there will be lots of freebies in there. In fact, we have just given away an analysis tool for you and your child called the Balance Wheel. And you can read about that in the group. And there is, drum roll, please, a book, my first book. I've written 13 books, but this is the first one for adults. So that will be a freebie in the group coming up this week. All right. Thank you so much. If you like this, forward it, share it, and I look forward to seeing you in the group. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.